Today we celebrate 25 years of UNDP's presence in Eritrea.
While the UNDP opened its Eritrea offices 25 years ago, in 1994, it has been an important sustainable development partner and champion of Eritrea for over 40 years.
We started as a liaison office in 1992, and in 1993, UNDP fully supported the UN-supervised referendum for the creation of the state of Eritrea. And in 1994, in January, we became a full-fledged UNDP office.
The UNDP is proud to have always been a close partner to the government of the state of Eritrea and would like to acknowledge the government's incredible support and collaboration in helping to work towards the UNDP mandate of using a sustainable human development approach to eradicate extreme poverty and reduce inequality and exclusion.
As UNDP, we've participated in different fora of development in this country, ranging from participating or partnering with the government in the area of capacity development. We've been supporting in the area of the climate action, energy, as well as reduction of poverty.
Now, as the UNDP commemorates its 25th anniversary, it also commemorates the leadership of the government of Eritrea in building Eritrea into a nation that can withstand crisis and sustain the kind of growth that improves the quality of life for everyone.
UNDP has had an opportunity not only providing financial but also technical support, listening to what the people and the government of Eritrea want. And based on that, we are able to mobilize our own expertise based on the needs that are on the ground and helping to contribute in that journey of making the country prosperous.
Highlights of the UNDP's work over the past 25 years include post-war rehabilitation and resettlement and the demobilization and reintegration of ex-combatants,
ናይ refugees ምምላስ ካብ ስደተኛታት ፍርቂ ሚልዮን ዝኾኑ ናብ ሱዳን ስለ ዝነበሩ ተቀዳማይ ሸኸም ናይ መንግስቲ ኤርትራ ዝነበረ ነዚኦም ኣምፂካ ሰትል ንምግባር ሰትል ጥራይ ዘይኮነ ኣብቲ ዘለዎ ምስቲ ሕብረተሰብ ተሳንዮም ክነብሩ ንቡር ናብራ ኣብቲ ናይ ቀደሞም ዝነብሩሉ ኣገባብ እዩ።
the development and strengthening of Eritrea's capacity and institutions.
The main cooperation was during the establishment of the Eritrean Institute of Management, and mainly the objective was in strengthening the capacity of the center so that it provides training services to the public servants on staff development and strengthening the overall operation of the institute.
The completion of the UN's First Assistance Framework, a common planning framework for the promotion of democratic governance and pro-poor economic growth.
Where we are trying to help the government strengthen and build its national systems so that they can best respond to the needs of the people of Eritrea. And we've been working in the area of access to justice, ensuring that we decentralize or make the right to development accessible to everybody at each point in time.
We focus on capacity building, we focus on environment, we focus on climate change, we focus on women empowerment, we focus on youth empowerment, and at the same time we also focus on HIV. We support the government in enhancing its capacity, in enhancing its systems, and to enhance also its what they call development agenda.
ናይ ምሕደራ ካብ በጽሕፈት ፕሬዝደንት ጀሚርካ ሚኒስትሪ ኦፍ ፋይናንስ ባንኪንግ ሲስተም ፊሸሪስ ሰንትራል ፐርሰናል ሰርቪስ ላይሰንስ ኦፊስ ኣብዚ ኩሉ ዝካፈል ነይሩ።
The completion of a second planning framework, continuing to focus on capacity development, in addition to a focus on emergency response and recovery, the environment, and the establishment of food security and gender equality.
The UNDP has different cooperations with the National Union of Eritrean Women. The microcredit program was planned by the National Union of Eritrean Women, especially for the ex-fighters that were demobilized from the military So the aim of this project was advancement of women in decision making and economic empowerment and other harmful traditional practices also. To fight against this, all UNDP had a great role in this issue. So UNDP still they are one of the partners within our missions and visions of the organization.
The mission of the youth organization is to build capacity to youth, empowering youth and building capacity. So one of the supporters of this program was the UNDP. Under this program, capacity building through economic aspect, empowerment of youth and skill development program, providing vocational skill training, inclusive of entrepreneurship training, microcredit grant. This coordinated work of the NEWS and the UNDP have created synergetic effect to the successful completion of the project.
The UNDP orchestrated the first strategic partnership cooperation framework between the government of Eritrea and the UN, working towards the achievement of the UN's Millennium Development Goals.
Eritrea is built on the principles of the self-reliance. And what is it that UNDP or the UN can contribute, in this journey of making the country progressive, sustainable, and meeting the needs of the people?
UNDP previously worked supporting the government in reducing poverty and reducing inequality and to achieve MDG, Millennium Development Goals.
Now starting in 2017 and looking forward to 2021, the UNDP has developed an updated strategic partnership cooperation framework that outlines the collective vision and shared response of the UN agencies in Eritrea in partnership with the government of Eritrea to achieve Eritrea's sustainable development.
The Sustainable Development Goals, and in the 17 SDGs, Eritrea is one of the signatories, and in the next 25 years should be accompanying the country in making sure we achieve these goals, from the reduction of poverty, ensuring there is food security, building the capacity of the young citizens in terms of education, health, and a whole gamut of issues for sustainable development, including building industries that can create decent jobs for the people, working in the area of agriculture and promoting sustainable livelihoods, and importantly, areas of women empowerment and gender equality. All these are areas which I think are very critical in advancing the country's prosperity and development.
The UNDP is based on a mutual and bilateral cooperation, which focuses on the cooperation that enhances the public audit in Eritrea. We can say we have established a very credible audit institution here in Eritrea, which is recognized worldwide and very familiar with all the aspects of audit. Even in our region, we are an active member of AfroSAE, and we have got a very good place in AfroSAE. UNDP has been so far very fruitful and successful.
The whole objective is in capacity building, developing the skill and competence of auditors. But then we also need facilities such as IT equipment, alternative source of energy like solar power, and then development of training facility for us, because audit needs a lot of trainings. The biggest thing that we achieved is the establishment of performance audit function in Eritrea, which we've been thinking about it for the last more than 10 years. So yeah, it was very, very successful.
Eritrea is one of the countries that is considered most vulnerable to the impact of climate change. Eritrea's abundant and diverse plant and animal species have steadily been eroded due to war, mismanagement, and recurrent droughts. Considering its currently low adaptive capacity and reliance on subsistence agriculture, climate change-induced impacts constitute a formidable challenge to Eritrea's efforts to combat poverty and guarantee food security. One of the many life-changing projects initiated by the UNDP to address the challenges of climate change is the Climate Change Adaptation Program in the regions of Hamel Malo and Habero in Eritrea's hot and arid Ansaba region.
UNDP has been focused on sustainable ecosystem that supports improved livelihoods of rural farming communities, increased access to renewable clean energy, and promotion of food security through sustainable ecosystem and climate change adaptation programs.
The program has worked to increase community resilience to climate change by working closely with small-scale farmers, agro-pastoralists, pastoralists, and rural women of the region to build integrated water management and agricultural development capacity. The communities were trained in soil and water conservation practices, livelihood diversification strategies, the use of climate-smart technology, and the implementation of climate-adaptive varieties of crops and livestock.
እቲ ዘራእቲ እቲ እኽሊ መፂ ዘሎ ብኩሉ እቲ ፍሪኡ ይኹን ፍሪዎ ዘሎ ተሓጉስና ኣለና ንሕና
ጽቡቕ ኢና ተወሂብና ጽቡቕ ሰሪሕና ጽቡቕ ከተሓጉስና ብዛዕባ እዚ ብድሕሪ ሕጂ ኸና ክንሕጎስ ብዙሕ ተስፋ ይዘለና
Other projects under the Climate Change Adaptation Program included the construction of diversion structures and associated irrigation technologies, such as the construction of dams to increase water availability and erosion control through groundwater recharge, rainwater harvesting, irrigation, and soil and water conservation.
ማሕረሰት በዓለም ገግራት ምዛል እዩ ግን ዓበይቲ ቀራራት አሉ ብዓይኒ ብዓም ማሕረሰት ኮን ዘይክ እዚ ድማ ፕሮጀክት ኢንተርቪን ገይሩ ኣብዚ ፕሮጀክት ዝሕጂ ብሽክልተ ዓመት ከባቢ 7 ዝኸውን ናይ ቸክ ዳም ስራሕ ማለት እዩ እዚ ሕጂ ዓበይቲ ቀራራት ሓረሰት በዓለም ገብሮ ዘይክሉ ፕሮጀክት አሲስት ነው ማለት
Eritrea's Ministry of Agriculture, in partnership with the UNDP, also piloted the Minimum Integrated Household Agricultural Package Program, where each household in the community was given livestock and vegetation to increase household production and subsequently food security and income.
As we are aware, a country that does not manage its natural resources is doomed for posterity. So we've been working with the government of Eritrea to look more into areas of sustainable environmental management, but also smart agriculture.
6 meteorological stations were built within the Ansaba region to enhance community preparedness to climate hazards, and solar panels were installed within households.
እዚ ኩሉ ዘማለአ እዩ ኮንትሮል ሩም አለዎ ፓነል አለዎ ትራንስፎርመር አለዎ ኢንቨርተር አለዎ ባትሪ አለዎ ጀነሬተር ከማን አለዎ ሕጂ ኩሉ ተሓዋዊሲ እቲ ፓወር ዝህብ ማለት እዩ
ጸልማት ኢና ነርና ከም ናጽነት ክሳብ ሕጂ ሰዓት ኣብ ሰዓት እዚ ግን 24 ሰዓት ተጠቀምቲ ኮይና ኣለ መጎጎ ቴሌቪዥን ሊቺ ኩሉ ጽቡቕ ኣለና
Schools also received solar lighting, increasing community opportunities for night studies and using some electrical or electronic tools such as computers.
ቆልዑ የጽንዑ ኣነን ባዕለይሲ ስፈይ ሰፊ ቀትር ንሕር መርካብ ሲኢነሉ ቀትር ዘይተወደለኻ ብምሸት ብልቺ ሰፊ ማለት እዩ ጽቡቕ አገልግሎት ንረክብ ዘለና ማለት እዩ
ኣብቲ መጀመርያ እዋን ዝኾነ ብርሃን ኣይነበረን ጸልማት በዋኑ እንተዘይኮይኑ ካብኡ ምሸት ኮይኑ ዝኾነ ስራሕ ክተሳለ ዘይትኽእሉ ደረጃ ይነር ማለት እዩ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ግን ከምዚ ሓድሽ ፍጥረት ተፈጢርካ ክትብል ትኽእል ኢኻ ብርሃን ስም ዳርጋ መተካእታ ይብሉን ንምባል ይከኣል
እዚ ጸልማት ኣብ ካልእ ዓለም ዘለኻ ኮይኑ ይስማዓካ ግን ከም ሓድሽ ተፈጢርና ዘለና ኮይኑ ይስማዓና ማለት ሕጂ ንና ኣብ ፈሓም ጌርና ምግቢ ንሰርሕ ነርና ቤሊ ፒዛ ገለ መለ ዝበሃል እዚ ናይ ምግቢ አይነት ዝኾነ ይፍለጥና ያብዝ ቀዳማይ እንዳ ቫስቴራ እዚ እንዳ ካፕቺኖ ገለ መለ አይፍለጥና ያብዝ ዓዲ ኣነጂ ቤት ምግቢ በዝሞ ስጋ በኪሎታት እንዳምዞንኩ በኪሎ ክሸይጥ ኮም ይሐስብ ብናተይ ማለት
ናጽቦ በቃ ማስ ካብቲ ሕማቅ ኩነታት ዝነበርና ጸልማት ሓንሳብ ባትሪ ገዚእኻ ሓንሳብ ገለ ጌርካ ነበርና ሰቃይሲ ጣዕም ጽቡቕ ኣለና
Over the past decade, Eritrea has also successfully initiated a number of community-based environmental initiatives to address the depletion of vegetation, which has resulted in the shortage of fuel and construction wood, excessive soil erosion, vanishing wildlife, and general environmental degradation.
The Small Grants Program mainly focuses on environmental and natural resource conservation, which is community-based. The main focal areas are land degradation, protection of land degradation, conservation of biodiversity, climate change, adaptation and mitigation, protection of persistent organic pollutants and chemicals, and protection of international waters. Since its inception, the Small Grants Program has executed about 50 community-based projects, of which 40 are successfully implemented and the remaining 10 are under implementation.
Women in communities all over Eritrea have worked on a range of projects and initiatives to rehabilitate degraded land through the planting of thousands of trees and the production and application of compost, adapting energy-saving traditional improved stoves, and other water and land-saving initiatives.
ንስኩም ሓረስታይ ተንዝሎ ተኽሊ ሒዙሎ ማለት እዩ ሰዓት ኣብዚኣ ግን ሕጂ ናትካ ምስ ተባህለት ድላይ ስራሕ ገብር ክእል ማለት ናይ ዋን ኢንቨስትመንት ክገብር ለኻል ዓብ ዘራታት ክገብር ለኻል ክነጥቃ ክእል ዘድልዮ ነገር ክገብር ተኽእል ለኻል ማለት እዩ ምክንያቱ ላይፍ ሎንግ ምስያ ዘላ ስለዚ ትመርያ እንታይ ኮይኑ ጀሚሩ ማለት እዩ ህይወት ተረክብ ጀሚሩ ክዛለ ጀሚሩ ድኩዕ ዘይድኳዕ ዝነበረ ካብ ዝነበረ ዘሎን ዘሎን ድኩዕ ድኳዕ ጀሚሩ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ምህርት ካብኡ መሰረት ክዓቢ ጀሚሩ
The Sustainable Development Goals will guide the UNDP's global and local agendas for the next 10 years to come. The UNDP will continue to work with the government of Eritrea to integrate diverse efforts to address complex development challenges, such as keeping people out of poverty, governance for a peaceful, just, and inclusive society, crisis prevention, increased resilience, nature-based solutions for developing the environment, clean, affordable energy, and women's skills, empowerment, and gender equality.
I'm proud to say that the UNDP staff have been at the forefront, really working very closely with the government partners and the people of Eritrea in their quest to build a strong and prosperous nation. And to assure that UNDP will continue to be a credible partner for the people and government of Eritrea now that we're implementing the 17 SDGs. To ensure that we eradicate poverty, to ensure that people are prosperous, to ensure that women have choices and they contribute fully into the development of this country. This is what I'm looking forward, and I'm sure together we'll be celebrating a more progressive and prosperous Eritrea as we work together in this journey.
The UNDP continues to imagine a world where all people prosper, societies are more inclusive, and the planet is protected from the worst effects of climate change. A world where no one is left behind.